Yo, good evening, viewers of YouTube. My name is Tyler, and welcome to the channel that is one of the best original sources for everything crypto. Good, bad, ugly, funny, and sometimes just downright corny. Strap in for the roller coaster ride because it's time for Chico Crypto. Today, let's go back to cryptocurrency's roots and talk about good old Bitcoin. Specifically, let's talk about the top 10 surprising facts you may not know about Bitcoin and its history. So let's get this countdown started with number 10. Everyone thinks the maximum supply of Bitcoin to ever be created is 21 million. That is what you hear everywhere. But in fact, it's just below that. It's actually 20,999,987.4769. 21 million is just easier to say. It is expected that the last Bitcoin amount will be mined between the years 2128 and 2140. This number is lower than the frequently cited figure due to Satoshi's own block reward mechanism, which doesn't actually quite reach 21 million. But also due to mining errors, which have nullified the creation of new coins. It is also possible that future errors will reduce the total supply even further. Number 9. Everyone thinks the Satoshi is the smallest unit of a Bitcoin, which is 1/1,000,000th of a BTC. But that is actually not true, and a smaller unit is currently in use. On the Lightning Network layer, a millisatoshi is already in use. 1 millisatoshi, abbreviated MSAT, is worth 1/1000th of a Satoshi and is used in the Lightning Network frequently as the Lightning channels can transact smaller units. Number 8. In the original Bitcoin code, the coin and the cent were the original units of measurement, as seen from this Bitcoin source code from 2008. A cent was supposed to be the Satoshi. It wasn't until 2011, when core developers were discussing the units of measurement, that the Satoshi was nicknamed by Bitcoin Talk member Rebuck. And as we can see just above that, they were still talking in cents. Does that make sense? Number 7. Speaking of the original source code, Satoshi first coined the blockchain as a time chain, as we can see from this source code. A transaction with a Merkle branch linking to the time chain. Here is the original definition of the time chain written by Satoshi himself, herself, or themselves. Nodes collect new transactions into a block, hash them into a hash tree, and scan through the nonce values to make the block's hash satisfy proof of work requirements. When they solve the proof of work, they broadcast the block to everyone and the block is added to the time chain. So basically just describing a chain of blocks, blockchain. Number 6, Bitcoin addresses do not contain 0, 0, 1, or an I to prevent the mistyping of addresses. When a Bitcoin address is generated, that public key is first hashed using hash 160, then encoded into a base 58 number. The base 58 encoding removes those characters, which can be easily mistaken for each other, and could result in funds being sent to the wrong address. Another interesting tidbit is the inventor of base 58 is unknown, and could be Satoshi. Number 5, the Bitcoin network has been functional and working for over 99.98% of the time since its go live on January 3rd, 2009. This uptime is a very special feat because Bitcoin is a decentralized network, and even centralized services are considered to be doing very well if they hit near this number in a single month, not 10 years. Number 4, if it wasn't for a critical bug in level DB, Bitcoin would be as close as it gets to 100% uptime. In 2013, the 0.8 version of the Bitcoin client was upgraded to use a more efficient form of database for storing blockchain data on users' machines. The old database, Berkeley DB, wasn't fully compatible with the new one, Level DB, and as a result, the Bitcoin network split between users running the new and old versions. This took about 6 hours for the split to resolve. Number 3, speaking of bugs, in August of 2010, one of the biggest problems ever hit Bitcoin. Jeff Garzik noticed something weird in one of the recent Bitcoin blocks. On Bitcoin Talk, he wrote these famous words, which could almost be likened to Apollo 13's,
Houston, we've had a problem.
Jeff started a topic, strange block 74638, and said the value out in the block number 74638 is quite strange. So what happened? A hacker exploited a frighteningly simple bug called a number overflow error. The attacker found a way to flood the code and create over 92 billion Bitcoin. Yes, over 92 billion. Within 5 hours of the hack, Satoshi or another developer fixed the error by releasing a patched Bitcoin client, which ignored the excess coins. Basically, the chain was rolled back before the hack occurred and started anew from there. Many people know a chain rollback happened with Ethereum during the DAO hack, but few know this actually happened with Bitcoin too. Number 2, Satoshi went into hiding, stopped contributing to the code, and became very silent after core developer Gavin Andresen went to visit the CIA and gave a presentation on Bitcoin in June of 2011. He originally posted a Bitcoin talk post about him going, and then tweeted in June that the presentation went very well. Then Gavin went on Bruce Wagner's podcast to talk about Bitcoin, and Bruce asked, "When was the last time you chatted to Satoshi?" Gavin replied, I haven't had an email from Satoshi in a couple of months actually. Last email I sent to him, I actually told him I was going to talk with the CIA. So it's possible that may have had something to do with his deciding. And finally, the number 1 surprising fact about Bitcoin. Since many of these facts have to do with Satoshi or what Satoshi created, Satoshi Nakamoto was spotted and found 9 days ago. And Chico Crypto has a picture of him. Here he is now. That sucker has been hiding in plain sight all along. Had to end this episode off with a tad bit of humor, but maybe when Gavin went to the CIA, he was actually going to meet Satoshi. Let me know in the comments if you like these type of episodes, and I'll be sure to make more in the future. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.